많이 받으세요.
Привет.
안녕하세요. 해피 뉴 이어.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อประเวศครับ
Hi. Depending on where you met me, you might know me as Kurisu, Jingjing, or Crystal. I went on the 2012 China-Japan program, where we spent 8 weeks studying at Beida University in Beijing, China, and then 7 weeks at Kyoto Gakuen University in Kyoto, Japan. The two places could not be any more different in any way imaginable. Beijing was a bit crowded. Crossing streets was always an adventure, and while the crazy foods you hear about aren't really common foods in China, like the scorpion on a stick and those kind of things, the first night we ate in China, we went to a restaurant where I turned over a mysterious-looking piece of meat, and it turned out to be the chicken's head. The food was great though, and although it was a bit greasier, somehow the grease tasted healthier. Just about everyone left China healthier than they had arrived. At Beida, every day we had 4 hours of Chinese class, and it was a very intensive language program. The teachers were great though, and we learned a lot. Everything about Beijing had this incredible energy to it. It's a brilliant place to explore because you will always find interesting places or foods or people. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, Kyoto was an incredible combination of city, suburb, and country. The air was fresh, and the entire atmosphere of our area was so peaceful. Living in the prairie state of Illinois, I found the most incredible things were the mountains covered in a rainbow of fall-colored trees. Our school was actually in Kameoka, which is a short train ride out of Kyoto. The commute was one of my favorite things, and I looked forward to it every day. I'd watch the scenery change from city to suburb, and when we would pass through a mountain, and when we sailed out to the other side, we were suddenly in this incredible farmland that was enclosed by beautiful mountains. Most days we had only one class, and the rest of the time was left to studying or writing papers, exploring, or just hanging out. We also had a history class, which was actually pretty interesting. China and Japan have a long, intertwining history. The class had a lot of work, but Professor Franks, who went with us, was really helpful. An experience like China-Japan is guaranteed to be absolutely incredible to anyone. Some people go on a trip like this just to see all the must-see places. Some people do a trip like this just to do something they've never done before, leave their family, experience a new culture, learn a new language. As for me, I had done these things already, but I wanted to go on the China-Japan trip to get a preview for spending an entire term abroad. Plus, I wanted to improve my language skills. I never thought I would get quite as much out of this experience as I did. I started to change in China. I started to see things differently, and I felt I finally understood a lot of things that I hadn't before. When we went to Japan, we spent a night in a Zen temple, and oh my god, it changed my life. They taught us to silence our thoughts, and when I tried, I realized how loud my head was. And often the loudest things were the least important. For the rest of my time in Japan, I practiced all I had learned. I feel I'm now a new person. But I don't think that's quite it. I'm still myself, but I'm walking a different path now, walking towards who I was always supposed to be. I owe so much to the friends I made abroad, in both places. In China, I mostly made friends with other international students, but I also made some very good Chinese and Japanese friends.
These are my best friends in China. This is Thomas from Sweden and Andon, a Russian from Canada. They were like brothers to me. They were in my Chinese class along with a bunch of other international students. And when I twisted my ankle, Andon really looked out for me. It was really tough saying goodbye to him. I cried so much.
In Japan, I put myself out there a bit more. I tried to connect with people whenever I could, and I joined the basketball club. Basketball club was my favorite thing, even though I had never played before. They were all really nice, and I made friends with a lot of them. It's really hard and sad to think about all the wonderful people who I met, who I may never see again. But I know for sure that I will see some of them again, somehow.